Okay, should I start now? I'm not sure where to begin.
How about the beginning? That's always a good place. I'm just kidding, go on.
You're doing a research topic, right?
Yeah, I used the research paper I did and turned it into a speech.
Okay, and your audience is?
I guess kids our age.
We're listening.
Okay, if someone asked you what the most important invention was of all time, what would you answer? Car, the airplane, television, telephones? Well, how about the wheel? If we hadn't discovered the wheel, then we wouldn't have had cars, bikes, trains, or airplanes. We wouldn't have had all the cool things that have wheels. In sports, the Egyptians and Romans wouldn't have chariot races. Bicycle racing wouldn't be a big competition like it is now. And motorcycle accidents wouldn't happen. But maybe what we miss most of all is the roller skate. The first roller skate was invented in Belgium around 1760 by Joseph Merlin. He really made musical instruments, but he tried making skates too. He ended up smashing into a mirror and breaking it and his violin. The first person to patent a roller skate, though, was later in Paris, France, by a man named M. Petitblen. His skate had 3 inline wheels, a wood plate, and leather straps to attach it to the foot. The wheels were made of wood, metal, or ivory. Then, in 1863, James Plimpton invented a skate with 4 wheels, 2 pairs, sit side by side. You can make turns easily on these skates. These skaters would just kind of, lean in the direction they wanted to go. And they'd roll that way. Since this was such a piece of cake, these 4-wheel skates totally took over. Through the rest of the 1800s and into the 1900s, skating became very popular. Roller rinks opened in lots of places. In 1935, one of the first skating sports to be really popular in the United States was roller derby. They would pretend to race from one city to another, like doing 57,000 laps was the same as skating from New York to Los Angeles. The skaters would live in the arenas, and they slept on cots on the track and made about $25 a week. Then the sport really became popular when okay, sorry, I got them out of order. Okay. Then the sport really became popular when television was invented in the late 40s. During the same time period, kids were first trying out skateboards too. It was kind of a combination of surfing and skating. The first skateboards were like scooters with handles and crates attached to a board with metal skateboard wheels hammered on it. In the 60s, surfers started land surfing, and before you knew it, skateboarding was a national hit. In 1982, brothers came up with the new and really different kind of roller skate. The rollerblade. It looked more like an ice skate. It had 4 wheels in a row, with the front and back wheel coming out of the boot. By 1997, rollerblades had made $1 billion, and the Olsen brothers were rich. So we kind of came back like we started, with the skates having all the wheels in a row. The rest is history. That's it.
Good.
Nice.
So what you think?
Just a couple of things.
Like what?
Well, you talk so fast. I couldn't keep up with what you were saying.
Really?
And you kept your head down most of the time. I couldn't hear sometimes.
Yeah, you didn't look at us much either. It was kind of hard to get into your speech.
How about you not read so much? Make an outline. It'll make it seem a lot more natural.
And you should probably number your note cards too, just in case you drop them again.
Gee, thanks.
Anytime. And it might sound better if you leave out the you knows and likes.
Okay, so what about the speech itself?
There's some really cool information, but you were kind of all over the place. It was kind of hard to figure out your actual topic.
The history of roller skating.
Okay, well, say that in your introduction. It's like you talked for about 5 minutes before we knew what you were talking about.
Yeah, you started out talking about the invention of wheels, and then you started talking about the history of sports on wheels, but you don't really start talking about skating until the last sentence of your introduction.
And then you just start giving me a big old history of the invention of roller skates.
Yeah, and you talk about skateboarding too, but that's not in your introduction.
Well, I just can't seem to decide on one topic to talk about.
Well, to me it sounds like great moments in roller skate history.
Yeah, I think she's right. I also think you should get rid of all the skateboarding stuff. Don't get me wrong, it's really cool. It's just, it gets off the subject.
Oh man, I like that part.
Well, maybe you could tell me about roller skates today and then go back and tell me how it all began.
Okay, anything else?
Shorter is better.
I second that motion.
Well, thanks, guys. Okay, I made this a lot better. You guys ready? They say one of the greatest inventions ever was the wheel. With the wheel, we've been able to make everything, from the bicycle to the car. Although bikes and cars are fun, one of the most fun things you can do with wheels is put them under your feet and roll. That's right, go roller skating. So, have you ever wondered how the roller skate started? What it looked like, what it is made of? What did people do before rollerblading? Well, let's just turn back the clock and see. A man named Joseph Merlin invented the first roller skate around 1760 in Belgium. Mr. Merlin actually made musical instruments, but he decided he'd try making skates too. He put wooden spools and later metal wheels at the bottom of his ice skates so that they could roll. One time, at a party, he tried roller skating and playing the violin at the same time. It was a disaster. He couldn't turn, stop, or do anything but go forward on his skates. He ended up smashing into a mirror, breaking his violin, and getting cuts and bruises on top of everything else. Pretty embarrassing. It wasn't until 1863 that the American James Leonard Plimpton invented a skate that really caught on. Instead of one line of wheels, it had 4 wheels, 2 pairs, set side by side. You could turn easily for the first time by leaning your weight in the direction you wanted to go. The modern roller skate was born. Skating became very popular in the 18 and 1900s. Roller rinks opened in lots of places. One of the first skating sports to really take off in America was the roller derby. In roller derby races, teams of mainly teenage boys or girls would skate around a track for hours to try to win a long-distance race. A race might be 57,000 laps or so. That was the same as skating the distance from New York to Los Angeles. The next big leap in skating history was in the 1980s. 2 brothers by the name of Olsen came up with the roller skate that looked more like an ice skate because it had 4 wheels in a row instead of in pairs. We know these as rollerblades. The rest, as they say, is history. By 1997, the roller skating industry was making $1 billion, and the Olsen brothers were rich. Over 26 million people still rollerblade to work out, or just to have fun. Skating's really changed since that guy put spools on his ice skates and smashed into a mirror. Today, some skates cost hundreds of dollars, and sometimes parts for skate wheels are even made in outer space. So whether it's at a rink or on a sidewalk, strap on some skates and get ready to roll.